what point in that day had you decided you were going to kill somebody?
It wasn't like I was crafting a plan to rob a bank where I knew that at this time I'm going to do this, and then at this other time I'm going to do the other thing. I think that a deeper, darker part of me, a part that doesn't express itself in articulate words, I think it knew what it was going to do, and I understand that I'm completely depersonalizing a part of my own mind right now. But I think I understood in an intuitive way that I was going to do something. I was caught up in a current, and I was just being swept along.
هو جالس يقول إنه الجريمة صارت بطريقة عفوية ويستخدم لهجة ناعمة علشان يوصف جريمة الشنيعة ويلمح الأشياء متنوعة وينكر أشياء كثيرة منها إنه هو مخطط للجريمة. طيب هو قال جلست الأطفال روحي لبيتكم وأخذ السكين من المطبخ ودق على الشرطة وهو يزيف بكاءه، صح؟ أعتقد إنه مخطط للجريمة من قبل.
He said, it wasn't like I was creating a plan to rob a bank, except that's exactly what he did. He had a plan. He had been planning for a long period of time. The babysitter didn't just leave. He coerced the babysitter to leave because he needed the babysitter gone in order to put his plan into action.
It was Super Bowl Sunday. He knew his mother had to work late. He knew he would be alone with his little sister if he could get rid of the babysitter.
There was always a plan.
Yeah.
Kiss your sister. Ella loves her big brother. Say hello. These are my children.
At the time of the murder, Charity was working in a restaurant while studying for a master's in education. She was a single mother, but her family were well off and her children had a comfortable upbringing.
I said stop a minute.
Y'all are so serious.
They seemed like a normal family to me. He was a good big brother. I remember hearing that he'd help her pick out her outfit. She very much would depend on him for fashion. If you were gonna stereotype him, he sort of seemed like a skateboarder kid.
Nobody that I'm aware of said, hey, by the way, I think Paris is a psychopath. His teachers didn't recognize it. You know, teachers spend more time with a child than most parents do.
طيب إيش فيه طلع لسانه هنا؟ من علامات السيكوباتي إنه يطلع لسانه كثير. أمزح لا تخافون. طيب هو ذكي مرة. ليش يقول أكاذيب تعارض بعضها زي إنها أنكر تخطيطه للحادثة، والناس اللي كانوا في مجتمعه قالوا إنه كان شخص عادي مو حاسين عليه. أعتقد إنه يكون سيكوباتي إذا صار عنده دافع وباقي الأوقات شخص عادي.
Once the babysitter had left, there was just you and Ella in the house, and she was asleep at that stage. Is that right? And you take a large knife and you go into her room and you stab her twice at the start of this process. When that happened, you could have saved her. You could have called the 911, the emergency services. That moment is very interesting to me about the calculation you made then to continue when you had hesitated and could have spared her.
I remember that. And I remember that it was like I was struggling with myself. And this isn't meant to suggest that I hear voices or that I'm crazy or anything, but it's almost like one part of me was the part of me that knew what I was doing was wrong. It was the part that loved my sister and would have turned the world upside down for her. And the other part was the wounded, twisted, dark part, the part that had been in pain for so long and wanted misery loves company. It was the part of me that wanted to cause pain, to take the pain I had been feeling and give it to someone else. And I remember that even during the time that I was stabbing her, I was struggling with myself to stop. But I just didn't struggle hard enough. I didn't put up a good enough fight against myself. And I remember thinking once I had started that it was too late. I couldn't stop. I remember thinking that I have to see it through to the end.
مسكينة أمه، شوفوا كيف تبكي مع إنه السالفة من وقت طويل، وهي ما أعتقد إنها كانت تؤذيهم أو تعذبهم. حتى لو كانت تسوي كذا، هذه ردة فعل غريبة إن ينهي حياة أخته. وترى الأم تحملت الكثير عشان أطفالها، لأنها كانت موظفة وتكمل دراستها وأم وحيدة في نفس الوقت، وتحملت مسؤوليتهم ومسؤولية كل شيء، وتحملت موت بنتها علشان مرض ولدها العقلي الواضح. وبعض الناس يقولون إن المرأة ضعيفة، وهي تحملت على أكتافها كل هذه المشاكل والمسؤوليات.
There will be people who watch this who will be astonished that you would want to have anything to do with him, given that he killed your beautiful little girl. What do you say to people who are astonished?
Well, he's my son, and as a parent, I always have believed that you give your children unconditional love. And I'm also the parent of a person who obviously has a mental health issue. I mean, he is a psychopath, but I don't know how to stop loving my children.
There are many experts who've said to you he remains potentially highly dangerous.
Yes.
He's due for parole in a few years. Are you not worried that when he comes out, he might come and try and kill you?
Yeah, I do worry. I mean, I'm afraid of Paris still, but it's possible to love him and forgive him and still be afraid of him.
But once Paris walks out of those prison gates, at that point, how dangerous do you think he could potentially be?
I think under the right set of circumstances, he would do it again.